Hello everybody. I know it's been a while since there's been any kind of new Living Legends 2 updates, videos, that kind of thing, since the last gameplay one, which I've noticed has been quite popular, and there's been a regular flow of comments under that one of people being quite excited for the mod as it develops. And that was the plan going forward, was going to be every time the team working on Living Legends 2 made a new update or an alpha test or something like that, I was going to record it and then talk about the kind of things that were new and anything that was discussed with the developers. But there was a big announcement recently over this weekend, and the main one is that calling it MechWarrior Living Legends 2 is no longer a thing. It will now simply be called Living Legends 2, as the team have decided to make the game standalone. Now, the most important aspect to take away from this is that as a standalone product, you don't need MechWarrior 5 anymore. The future of the mod will now be as its own independent game. It will run on its own launcher, and because of a system that Microsoft have with some content developers called the Game Content Usage Rules, or the GCUR, it means that they are allowed to develop the game as its own solo project, and as long as they basically don't use the term MechWarrior, because quite rightly that would cause some confusion about it being an official title, that kind of thing. An example, as opposed, I'll read most of this out to everybody, as posted by the Living Legends developers, but basically other games that include this kind of system is Wolves, which is a spiritual Mech Assault successor, and a Halo fan game that was called Installation 01. So, yeah, they made a post on ModDB, and I'll read out the most important part to it for you now, and there'll be at least some images of some other bits and pieces that have been shared with me since, and with people on my Discord. So, the main factor in the decision was a lack of access to MechWarrior 5's source code. The timely early release of some new game development technology was also a large influence, but we'll get into that in a future article. Those of you who were lucky enough to get your hands on the playable pre-alpha build while it worked may have noted that the mech behavior was unchanged from MechWarrior 5. This is one of many areas that we were unable to make changes to the underlying code. After initial playtesting, it quickly became clear that our design goals would require us to rebuild the core game system from scratch. Lack of source access also meant that we're restricted to working in Blueprints, a node-based scripting language which allows developers to quickly iterate game systems. Blueprints are worse in terms of performance overhead compared to C++ code, which was sure to become an issue as the project scaled up. Our original plan was to update the existing mod with new vehicles and maps as they were finished, while the coding team worked on an ambitious total conversion. Dropping new content into MW5 as a mod required very little effort, and it would give the fans something to play while we hunkered down for a long period of hard work with little to show. However, our plans changed, yet again, when a major update completely broke the mod. Considering the amount of work required to restore it, we made the difficult decision to abandon support for the mod and focus on building our standalone codebase. We had planned for Living Legends 2 to always require a copy of MechWarrior 5, even with our completely independent codebase. This seemed like the simplest way for us to realise our vision while avoiding the ill fate of other MechWarrior fan games. The original Living Legends was developed under a non-commercial license from Microsoft, which we don't have. However, with the mod version now prematurely dead, we began to reassess our options. After a lengthy discussion with a Microsoft representative, we decided that full independence as a free fan game was the best way forward. And now that we have some context laid out, you're probably dying to know what this means for the future of the project. The decision came with three major implications, none of which affect the scope or nature of our designs. Firstly, MechWarrior 5 will not be a requirement moving forward. Secondly, we shortened the title to Living Legends 2 in compliance with the GCUR, as using the name MechWarrior may give the impression of an officially licensed product. And lastly, we have an unambiguous framework for publishing Living Legends 2 and eventually accepting donations to support development. We're still hard at work building the foundations of a whole new game, and we're grateful for all the patience and interest you've shown despite the relative quiet since our initial announcement. And that's basically that. Now, the new engine that they're working on is Unreal Engine 5, which I'm not like a software engineer technically minded anyway, but some of the terms and phrases being thrown that way sounded like the stuff in Unreal Engine 5 is some really interesting kind of tool sets and stuff that they'll be able to work with, possibly to make this an even better mod than they initially planned it to be. So, I mean, they seemed excited. I'm, as a byproduct, kind of excited about where that's going to go. So, yeah, UE5, not UE4, totally standalone, don't need MechWarrior 5, And this isn't me saying don't buy MechWarrior 5 now, you don't need it for the mod. It's MechWarrior 5 is a playable game. You can have fun with it with friends, and there are mods out there that can alter the experience. But if you were just waiting to get MechWarrior 5 for when Living Legends 2 comes out, now you don't have to. Maybe a bit longer, but you can save some cash on that. So, one of the coolest things that's been revealed by the dev team, which wasn't discussed in this article, is anyone who's played the original Living Legends knows that the maps are quite large and they play out across numerous sort of strong points that you have to capture and control, which give you different areas to spawn from and obviously move around the map in different ways and give you different tactical options. So that's still the plan, but the early version of these bases are basically going to be Union dropships. And the idea is, and there's a couple of screenshots that we were shared of some of their early sort of design work for this, you will spawn inside the top part of the dropship in whatever your sort of starting infantry gear is or power armor or whatever it is you'll be wearing. And presumably you will do what you do in Living Legends 1, which is you access your system, you buy your vehicle or your mech or your aerospace fighter, and then you go down a lift that's in the center of the dropship down to the actual bay itself, and then you'll see the vehicle spawn or like come up out the floor or however they're going to do it, and then you will hop into that and walk or drive down the ramp or fly outside. And it's going to be to scale as well, which is going to be awesome. Because obviously Union dropships and Overlord dropships are friggin' massive, so it's gonna be pretty impressive just spawning in those things. And this is before they build the bases, because apparently they want the bases to feel like proper installations that are gonna have all the little corridors and little underground sort of spawning areas for the vehicles and mechs to walk out of and all that. But that stuff's sort of being developed as well. So for the time being, when I guess the later alpha build of it comes out, it'll be to do with using these Union class dropships. That's really cool. There's also some of the stuff I shared here from an earlier post. There's the concept art of the Bushwhacker, the Corsair aerospace fighter, and I know that I can't share it as an image, unfortunately, but there is a little YouTube vid of the high poly demolisher, which looks very pretty. So yeah, it's coming along. There's interesting stuff. They do have a Discord, which I will attempt to link. I'm not quite sure how long these links last for, but I will post it in the description of this, so you can join their Discord, and you can keep up with all of the dev share and announcements and stuff there. But yeah, it's pretty big news. It's an important step, and I look forward to seeing what they come up with. I'll be very interested in seeing where they go with the first iteration of the mod. Apparently, there's a test that could be coming in the next few weeks, maybe in a month or so. And as soon as that happens, hopefully I can get in there and maybe ask some questions and get some footage for everybody, and you see how they're doing with the mod. But until then, thanks for listening, everyone. If you have any questions, maybe I can pass them on to the devs for you, whatever. If you don't want to jump onto the Discord, I might be able to get some answers for you in that one. But yeah, have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.